around the time that we had our biggest crowd is when we started doing rank sessions. And we started doing the roast. And Flo, she did one of the first. She did one of the first ones. It was so good.
I forgot about that.
Yo, that was hilarious. It was you and CJ. I think that was my first time really meeting CJ.
CJ Couch?
Yeah.
Couch. Yes, that was my first time meeting CJ Couch. He is
a trip.
He's crazy. He gives me I so love when he did the drag.
Oh my, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Oh,
he looked really good. Like all the dudes look really good.
Yes.
Towards a heckler, sometimes they are loud, mostly comics.
Right.
But that's so we know each other. That's
that part.
I didn't want to say the name.
Look, I'll say it. Southside.
Got him.
No. I call him out. Southside will roll all over the floor.
He will.
He will sit there.
Got him.
You'll see him stand in one place 1 second and then
he's all
how did you
bouncing off the walls
over there? He's like
so hyper. And I remember
high energy.
Too tall. Too.
I was just messing him. It's fine.
That's his straight face.
I'm always straight face. Okay.
I usually am too.
You guys ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Yay! This is the Psst, Did You Hear That podcast with me, Imre, Mehesz, and
Flo Funny.
And tonight we have Jessica Mote.
Yay! J Mote in the house.
Alright, so I forgot to ask if you go by J Mote or Jessica or just Mote.
Everything. J-Mo has been my nickname since childhood. My mom hated it. She thought it was so boyish, but it works. Mind over my dad. I get it. But everybody's called me J-Mo my whole life. They never liked calling me Jessica until my adult age, I think. That's when people started getting comfortable with calling me my name.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
What do you like, though? What do you like?
J-Mo, I'm used to J-Mo.
J-Mo,
especially
okay.
being back home. When I was in Atlanta, everybody called me Jessica. And then people picked up on the nickname, or they like calling me by my last name and thought they were important or special. Like they came up with it, but no. Everyone home calls me J-Mo.
Okay. So, I wanted to ask you are from Atlanta? Oh, you are from here and you went to Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm from here. I went to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for 8 or 9 years or so working there.
Oh, nice.
It was only there for work.
Yeah, you see, just between us, I love Atlanta. I go there as much as I can. I love it up there.
Nah, seriously, for work, it's great. The traffic is horrible.
Oh, so what I do, I usually just rent something downtown or, whatever, and I don't use my car. I just walk around, Peach Street.
Yeah,
usually stay on Peach Street, and you can pretty much walk anywhere.
I stayed off of 10th in Piedmont area, or not off 10th, but I worked off 10th in Piedmont and stayed off of Piedmont for a little while.
Oh.
Then I was out in Decatur. I moved around. I stayed out in Powder Springs, had a nice house out there for the low. Nice. That's what you do. You move to the outskirts. Work started kicking my butt in 50-minute commutes, and then you have to leave an hour and a half early to make sure you miss traffic in case there's an accident and they stop the expressway. Not go around, stop. They completely stop traffic. When there's accidents.
That's that city life.
Yeah, that's what you have to deal with. And I was like, nah.
You were over it?
Yeah, I was over it. So over it. But that part I was over. But the industry work is abundant. It was good money-wise, great money-wise. Still is. So
Good.
Probably more opportunities though in Atlanta.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
It's a bigger city.
Yeah, it's a bigger city. But those opportunities can come here. That's why I am here.
Right.
So I feel like Jacksonville is behind. But most people who leave here, they come back with the intention of, I'm going to rape everyone's pockets. And because I know something you don't know, I'm going to overcharge you. Even if I'm not the best at it, all I got to do is have top game. And everyone here is about clout, popularity. And they run with stuff. And then people wonder why they get burned. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your research on people and you got to move smarter. But Jacksonville, people just spying a little bit. Yeah. So business-wise, I feel like certain individuals I ran into that seem to be super serious were a lot different than people I normally have dealt with, because being in Jacksonville or being from Jacksonville, of course, I have a lot of artist friends who are right now, they're at the point of climbing in their careers right now. And back when we first started and was young and didn't know better, it was it was just hard because we didn't know the business. So we depended on certain people to help us, and they did just that. Their motives were to take advantage. And that killed a lot of people's dreams and stopped them from wanting to actually pursue what it was they were doing, even though they were great at it. It's what honestly made me leave Jacksonville. I was managing artists since I was like teenage years, like 18, 19, my friends and stuff, just being the person who, while I understood that I was the one that had more of a business mindset and that I was the one that was a little bit more level-headed than them because they were wild. So I had to take on the task of making sure we didn't get played all the time. Even though I did that, it was kind of hard because I'm still learning. And it's hard for people to take you serious when you're somebody that isn't financially just throwing money everywhere. It's like, I got your best interest at heart, but you got this person over here that say, I got X, Y, and Z with these dollars on it, with your name on it. Just get away from them. Come over here with me. And their whole objective is to use you. They don't want you to sign no paperwork. They don't want to sign no paperwork with you. They want you to come in on trust and shake their hand and go in, record your songs and do all this stuff. And I have watched people one by one go and get their songs stolen. The next thing you know, you hear other artists coming out with it. It was just hard to watch.
That's horrible.
And knowing that I was investing time in it and my little pennies I was making, I was like, look, y'all, if y'all don't get this together, I'm applying to grad school. I'm applying to one school. This is what's going to tell me that it's meant for me to do it. I'm going to apply to one school. I get in, I'm going, and I decided to go for film because I was doing radio and, again, management and stuff like that. But I was always interested in the television side of stuff. So once I applied to Florida State, auditioned, and went and did the interview and stuff, I got in. And I was like, all right. That was the start of my film career. And it was just me taking the chance. Like, I want to really know this. And being here, I'm playing. You know, it's cool to have a camera, be a videographer, wave it around, and shoot some music videos, or your friends want you to shoot an interview blog stuff, the typical stuff that we were doing that back then, but we didn't know what we were doing, so I was taking on that task of being the person that ran around doing everything so that everybody else can be the star they wanted to be. And it was just not mathing for me. I was like, it's something we're not doing. It's something we're not doing. Like, y'all are great, but we're not getting the traction we need. And getting away from Jacksonville showed me exactly what it was. Seriously, like, we're so behind.
We are.
We're so behind.
But I don't think it's just Jacksonville. I think it's Florida as a whole.
Oh, Florida.
Like
yeah.
maybe Orlando, Miami a little bit, but everything else is just like behind. But I'm from Europe, so I think the whole US is behind on certain things.
That's
true. You know what I mean? Like compared to when I came here, I'm like, oh my, because you don't see this from the movies, right? Like you don't see that,
right?
That whatever is happening here, which is getting, I don't know if it's getting better or worse, but
I feel like the exposure, the internet and stuff,
sure,
is helping for everyone kind of understand the reality of things. Like,
yeah.
People don't understand the internet isn't that old. Like,
right.
I remember being a smart kid, like how I'm looking at my niece and how she understands YouTube and what the skip ad button does, and she's not even 1 year old. She's attempting to walk on her own now, and she's very determined. But these kids are moving a lot faster than we were.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because of exposure to stuff. So I was like, that's exactly how I was with my mama when computers came into the picture, and we got our first one, and it was dial up, and my mom was just like, she know them computers, she can hook all them cords up, she know what to do. And we were building and coding websites and stuff. We didn't understand we were doing all of that,
right?
And I'm just like, it's the same thing. It's kind of great,
But that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. So surprise, listeners, Jessica is not a comedian.
Hey, yeah,
that's why I've been super excited to have you on for like months now. We are trying to do this. I'm like, this is gonna be so awesome. The first non-comic on the thing.
But
I'm the first.
All right, so you and I met at one of the cover places.
Yep,
open mic. And I think you were just coming back, or you just showed up in the scene, like what, maybe 2 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, it's going on 2 years, more so. Yeah, probably about 2 years.
It's roughly
now.
about 2 years, right?
Yep, came in.
And you came in and you made waves pretty much immediately, like organizing your, you want to promote it?
Yeah. So Poker Face
Yay.
comedy.
Poker Face.
Yeah.
Poker Face came about when I first came home. Had some family stuff happen, and a friend of mine connected me with a woman who presented herself as a comedian, and she wanted to do a special of her own. I ended up having something happen to a close childhood friend of mine. We hadn't spoken in a long time, but I had heard, she had gotten murdered,
Oh, man.
domestic violence. Yeah.
Dang.
And she lost her life, and her people were facing kind of hardships with certain stuff. It was just unplanned, of course. But she had kids that were here that needed attention, needed help. My mom needed help. So we ended up taking the venue that we originally had, and through something that was like, a benefit for her, just for friends and people to gather and donate money to her mom to help with burial and so forth. And it was very successful. It was all over the news and so forth. And it honestly was just like the start of us realizing, like, hey, if we put our mind to something, we can organize anything and do whatever. So we end up going to Live Bar. Shout out to Live Bar for really sitting down and having a conversation with me and the original young ladies who started Poker Face Comedy, Danielle Doucet and Brooke English. Also, her name's Ashley Masters, not Brooke English. But they had full. They were like, we see the potential in this. Y'all should do every week. And we was like, wait, this is supposed to be just a special. I was like, I was still actively working in the film industry. I still was actively working production jobs. So I was traveling back and forth at the time. After the family stuff settled and I was able to leave, I pretty much went and was coming back and forth, working with them to get the night situated, working with her to get her scripts together on what we were going to do. At first, Poker Face had a live band, and it was, more upscale. We were charging like $50 a table. It was crazy. I was like, hey,
we are making the money now.
And you know what I'm saying? It was interesting.
Doing big things.
It ended up just kind of being too much of a commitment to certain individuals who had started.
Sure.
So once we started, it's like we've hit a bunch of plateaus. Once we started, kind of like people started getting to a point that they were kind of falling off. I was kind of the last person left in the mix of saying, am I going to let this just disappear or keep it going? And I decided to keep it going. And from there, Brooke was the original host for probably about a month or so. And when she left, Reva K, I had spoken to her, and Antoine Murphy, shout out to them, about helping me get certain things together. And Reva stepped up to the challenge with no hesitation. Like, they were features that I was paying to come and perform at first. I had came to Jacksonville. Only person I knew for real in Jax that was doing comedy on a personal level was Nod Ross. And that's because when he first started doing comedy, I was the person who produced the Live from the Cypher TV show with Jay Motown, who was our original DJ for Poker Face. I had put together, it was supposed to be like a TV show that was like Cypher music, and then Black Boy Chris, William Boston, and Nod Ross were supposed to be the host. That show is honestly what made me want to get into film production. So when I came back, knowing I've had experience working in the industry with different comedians, I worked on Wild 'N Out for at least 4 seasons prior to me coming back here, working with talent, working with art department, cool thing, like a lot of those posters and stuff from season 15 and the chicken bucket and all this stuff with Nick Cannon face drawn. I don't even know how to draw. I did it. So some of the artwork and stuff that's on the show was me. Same thing with working with talent and just understanding the process of what they were doing and how it was. I watched them. I remember seeing like DC backstage and in the game room / talent holding room, and while you might think he's somebody that just be running around, which he does, he clowns all the time, mess with crew, mess with with the staff and stuff like that, and the crew and everything, but he will be over running his lines. He will be over in the corner praying. He'll be over in the corner doing things that he's remembering from rehearsal. They rehearsed. They would get together, and while you think that, you know, it's just on an individual to be funny, no. They were literally in rehearsals, rehearsing with each other. They would run their jokes or run certain things, and all of them be like, yo, you know what to make that funnier? You should say this, that, and the other. They knew that their airtime depended on their paychecks, but yet they still took the time out to make sure each other was strong. It's certain people that are there that don't get that much airtime, but they're like, I know if he get up here and he do something like this, that, and the other, he can get a little, you know what I'm saying, get some more money. They were for each other. Like,
help each other out.
Yes, they help each other out. And I'm like, that's what I felt like everybody in Jacksonville was missing. When I came here, it was a lot of people that was like, yeah, we rock with each other, but I didn't see too many displays of from the people that I was around, of individuals who were getting together and actually doing something. And with the situation at Live Bar that came, a lot of people came to me and was like, yo, there aren't a lot of urban stages where you could just go and really just, like, if you black, perform in front of black people. And that was like a big thing for a lot of folks, was if I don't necessarily have that exposure to be able to perform in front of an urban audience, then this is that place for me to go to be able to do that. So that was another thing that I saw that was like something that honestly helped a lot of the black comedians come together, because everybody else is doing it. Y'all tight. Like, I told them once I started doing my research on just networking, talking to individuals like Flo, who she didn't even know us like that. She was next door at Justice Pub and told the comedians like, hey, it's a mic next door. Y'all need to go over there. She was sending people our way. She's the reason why we probably met half the people that was on the roster. This one right here. So
and I met a lot of people through you too.
Yeah, she's always here.
We understood the assignment.
Exactly.
Help each other out.
Help each other out. Like we and again, it's like that is what strengthens everything we have going on. When everybody tries to be divided, think you don't need anybody. Oh, I don't want you to steal my jokes. I don't want this, that, and the other. If that's the intention, sir, then you want to feel comfortable. That's what paperwork is for. But everybody keeps forgetting about contracts, paperwork. Get it in writing. Make sure that you and this person have an agreement and understanding of what y'all are putting into that, and that, you know what I'm saying, that situation, and go be great. Like, stop holding yourselves back because everybody want to be about drama and negativity. Oh, I don't want to get this close to this person. If that was me, then a lot of stuff wouldn't happen. And you see what's happened in that case. I've gotten close to everybody. I've inserted myself in multiple people's lives that came to me and told me, hey, I want to do comedy, but I've never really done it before. 904 Nika started. Her first stage was Flow stage, and then she kept going with me with Poker Face. Like, Nika would sit and she would call me, run her jokes, she would write it through whatever she got going on. It was the same thing with TK. When I met him, he was the same way. He was new here from North Carolina. He really didn't know too many people. Ian was somebody who he was still exploring his comedy lane, and I looked at him and I was like, you want to do stand up, you know what I'm saying, you gonna get there, but you're a host. I told him, like, you're a host, you need to get into that, like, really hone in on that energy. You're a likable person. He had started because we were having certain issues with starting late because, you know, Reva has her boys and she has to get them situated. So we would tell Ian to come in and just do pre-show, walk around, talk to people, let's do social media stuff, and that would help you kind of get comfortable with it. Now he's easily being booked as a host. Nika opened for Eric Andre, and that was her biggest performance of her life, and there's certain people who have been doing comedy for years here that hadn't even got that opportunity, and that's just because we said, hey, these mics that are around, y'all need to go in, y'all need to network, y'all need to meet your community. You don't know anybody. That's why it's hard for you to be what it is you say you want to be. So if all these mics are here, why are we not going to them? And you seen I was dragging the asses out.
You were
every mic. That's why you saw me there.
Yep.
Anybody who was willing to go, we had group messages going. We sit, we communicate with each other. If we get an opportunity to do rehearsals, get them together. I'm not again a comedian, but I'm a writer. I've again sat in rooms with famous comedians who are making millions off of what they're doing, and I've watched how they work. I can give you and offer you that same thing. I can tell you or help you better formulate your jokes or better structure them. And the people that I've had the ability to work with, I work with a few just to see if what I do or what I've done has been effective or helped, and it has. So while Poker Face started out as an open mic, it's become more of a social situation for, social group for comedians to just come together and work together. Honestly and truthfully, that's what it is. It's not about the money. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm doing this because I didn't have nobody to believe in me when I wanted to do this film shit.
Yeah.
No one here knew what to tell me or what to do. But I'm coming home and I was like, Jacksonville might be known for certain things with music and, as far as entertainment goes. But what people don't understand is we're also known for comedy. You have individuals like Lil Duval again, A-Train, as far as in the black community that we look at as top dogs. But you also have people like that's moving under the radar like Jen Thomas. Jen, I think, it's her second or third Cat Williams. She opened for Cat Williams World Tour. She, on most streaming platforms that have some type of comedy show, like all the media, all those sites and stuff, like she has been moving, but she's also somebody that moves under the radar. It's a lot of people here that's putting, a lot of comedians that are putting Jacksonville on, and I'm like, y'all gotta get ready. Other places have, these pillar comedy clubs in different situations, and everybody's so divided. Why are we not coming together and just like, we got to be a force to be reckoned with. In order to be a force, y'all have to have control. Y'all giving too much control to certain promoters. Y'all giving too much control to establishments. Y'all all are what they want. If y'all all get together and decide we not taking $50 no more, or we not selling tickets for X, Y, and Z no more, and then we going to aim to get together and everybody say, look, we going to sell our own tickets. We going to do this, that, and the other. So that this money's coming to us and not to somebody else to control it. And it's just little stuff. Control your own stuff until you figure out what it is you're really doing. And if you gonna put somebody in control, put somebody in control that you trust. So I feel like a lot of people look at me as that, and that's why I've been able to move with Poker Face this long. That's why it's been working for this long. There are people that have came through the doors and they ride or dies now. I'm like, we need some Letterman jackets and t-shirts and stuff now. We need Poker Face Chicago. We need Poker Face New York.
Heck yeah.
It need to be a social club. That's really what it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Merch stuff. I was looking into making mugs out of concrete.
Okay.
So that's my new thing. We're gonna have. I don't know if we're gonna have it, but I'm looking into it. Just some merch to promote the podcast. Like, hey, here it is. It's not even merch, just like, hey, here's a gift mug.
Right.
I have some ideas that might make the merch pop. I had told some other individuals, but we'll talk about that off camera. I don't want to give our secrets away.
There you go.
Yeah, don't say your
Don't give it all away.
But it's just, Jacksonville has a lot of potential, and the things that you all are doing, just putting on shows and giving people a reason to leave the house again. It's like, our job right now is to pull people out of their homes, get them back comfortable with going out, because COVID and all this other stuff has made people get comfortable with sitting at home in front of a TV screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if we give them quality shows, we give them something of substance, people will come out. It's proven. Like, so I'm just like, we just all need to understand that it's a slow progression, and we all work together to make things happen. Then everybody will win, versus separating yourself, separating your crowd, separating the audience, separating your ticket sales. Like, you want people to come to a spot. You want people to come and know that they can come somewhere and they're going to get a variety, or they're going to get all comedy all the time. I feel like that's what Comedy Zone has been doing. They have their rules and different things that they put in place that people disagree with, but it's also probably the reason why they succeeded as long as well. But I just feel like right now, I feel like comedy is changing, and that's speaking from a professional standpoint, because of what I'm seeing, again, with what these kids are watching, which is that progressive stuff, that wilding out and improv comedy and all of that. So that's why I push at a lot of the Poker Face comedians to not only just be so heavy on stand-up, but to be well-versed. So I challenge them with improv games and making them do silly stuff that they probably like. You want me to go on stage and do what? Yeah, I want you to go on stage and dress like a drunk Santa Claus and do a dance and do a whole set based on being drunk Santa. And they're like, okay. And it's like, I have my random moments, but it's like, we need to do something that is going to be different. And the more we try different things, we're going to figure out the formula. You just got to be dedicated to that.
Yeah. I mean, it takes time because you have to try different things, see what sticks, what works.
Yeah.
And even that takes time. You know, like opening an open mic, it's going to take a certain amount of time to gather people, an audience. Right?
And that's what was killing us in the beginning. Once we were at Live Bar, and it was I didn't want originally to do every night. But then that's where we were with it.
Every night?
Not every night, but every week we were.
You
every
guys
Wednesday.
were Wednesdays, right?
Yes, every Wednesday. Yeah. And I knew that it was going to be hard to pack a club for a comedy show, especially if everybody already knew it as a club and as a club where young people were.
Yeah.
So probably around the time that we had our biggest crowd is when we started doing rank sessions. And we started doing the roast. Flo, she did one of the first... She did one of the first ones. It was so good.
I forgot about that.
Yo, that was hilarious. It was you and CJ. I think that was my first time really meeting CJ.
CJ Couch.
Yeah.
Tower.
Couch.
Oh.
Yes, that was my first time meeting CJ Couch. He is
a trip.
He's crazy. He gives me I so love when he did the drag situation.
Oh my, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Oh,
he looked really good. Like all the dudes look really good.
Yes, he reminded me of Jim Carrey when he was in dang it, Ace Ventura. He was definitely giving me Ace Ventura vibes. But it's stuff like that. I'm like, I live for that. Like, this is good. This is like comedy. This is something that people will be like, oh, dinner in the show, I'll come see that. Like, that's the vibe we need. Like, I was aiming to create something similar to that with Live Bar. It was just not the traditional comedy club situation or setup. So that's why we started pivoting with trying to do more of the, improv stuff. And again, the rank sessions, which were great. Mm-hmm. It started a lot of controversial stuff. Like, they went through everything on Live Bar stage. I remember at one point it was some dude who just thought it was his job to come and heckle them. And it's like, dude, this is an open mic. Like, everybody's not going to be perfect. If that's what you come in here for. No, you ain't put people on this stage that's good. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, you want to be extra. All right. And they started roasting him the whole night.
Yeah.
And then it was I think that the same guy came back and he tried to sign up to roast. And he was really rude and disrespectful and went on stage. And I got the clip if y'all want to insert. He was very rude, disrespectful, and went on stage and was like, oh, none of y'all are real comedians. Y'all never going to make no money off doing comedy. And I was like, oh, okay, challenge accepted. See, I'm one of those individuals where, see, my eye started twitching. I'm one of them individuals where if you want to challenge me and want to challenge my people, I'm loyal. You're not going to talk about them. Mm-hmm. And he got put in his place. That night, I was like, I let certain stuff slide because I like it to be a challenge. They handled themselves them other times. This time, this is my situation to handle. I pulled him to the side, and he was there with Nod, and they stood there, and I was like, hey, sir, because we had to pull him to the side because it started getting heated. And I was like, wow. Don't you ever come here and get on my stage and disrespect my show like that again. Oh, J-Mo, no, because I let you go up there and talk and say everything else you need to say. You don't ever disrespect anybody that steps foot on my stage, or you can just not come back. I was like, I don't mind you heckling because they can handle themselves, but that is just straight up disrespectful. That can ruin the integrity of the show. That can make people not want to come.
Too far.
You don't get to go on stage and say that.
It's too far.
I'm saying like this right here. Nah, he a real comedian. He a real comedian. I was like, and I remember when love you, but I remember when was shit neither. He had to work. Mm-hmm. He had to work to get to where he is.
That part. No one starts off amazing like that.
Exactly. So you're sitting here crushing people's dreams or being disrespectful or rude. You don't know the power of your words. You could be discouraging somebody. Mm-hmm. So I don't care what you think you're doing for the popularity vote. We know who Nod is. We know who certain people like Antoine Murphy and all of them that you praise. I know who they are. And they're great. But they got to work to that. They got people to be able to give them grace, to be able to understand it, get it down and work at it and be what they are. Mm-hmm. So whatever you're talking about is irrelevant, sir. And I'm only going to say this one more time. Don't ever try me like that. And everybody was just like, she just properly read you. And
let them know.
Great at a proper read. Oh.
Let them know.
I'm great at proper reading. Because, you know, females, they expect us to be extra and emotional. They want us to, you know, scream and holler and all that stuff. That's why everybody look at me so crazy, because I am so chill. You won't get that. I'll give you the truth, but there's no need for all of that. I can get my point across without all the extra rah-rah stuff. So he understood, and the statement he made was irrelevant, sir, because all of them have been getting paid from doing comedy ever since you said that.
Period.
So put that in the camera so that you understand. And all the ones, and a lot of people that you might, you know, fancy, you know, they see the work. They see the work that a lot of them are doing. They come through and giving them their props. Despite what you think and what you said. You thought you were speaking for the church, but the church said no.
Period.
You're not speaking for them.
Period.
So, you know, now he come out and support time to time. Most people, you know, individuals that, you know, get booked regularly and stuff, they don't really come pop up to open mics and stuff all the time. But they'll come pull up and they'll, you know, show love. So at the end of the day, I'm like, that's all that I was trying to make happen in the beginning. But you know, people have to feel you out and see what you're about and all that stuff. So I just said, I'll show y'all then with people that no one knows their name.
That part.
No one knew who they were as a comedian. Right. And now you hear certain people's name ringing through rooms. And all it is they built their confidence up. They worked at it, and I kept pushing them to get better. And same thing. That's all it takes. Is somebody believe in you.
Yeah. That part. And I like how you said, you know, there's one thing that, you know, we can be heckled, because you said, like, you know, we can handle that, which we can. And I remember one guy, that Indian guy, that was wild. But
yes, y'all set in on him, but
I went in there. He came all the way.
Loved it.
He was all about it. And the thing was, it was okay. Like, he went kind of crazy, but it wasn't as far as that guy, where he's just like totally taking you as a person and went way too far. Heckling is one thing, and what you said is just way too far. But he did make it fun. It was fun to go back and forth in rows. But that guy was wild.
Yeah,
you remember that guy?
Every joke they cracked on him. He would love.
Yeah, he was in it. He said some crazy shit. He was something I said to him, and he was like, yeah, I would fuck a dog. And I was like, did you just say? Just like, we went there, okay. So it was just a roast session.
Was it a Justice Bar?
No, this was a live bar.
That was at live bar.
This was the very beginning.
We went through so much at live bar. We had Saturdays. They took that away because it was a conflict with the radio station night. Then that led to us leaving there, and we went to Indigo. That was short lived.
But you never stopped, you never canceled, you never gave up. You just kept finding new places.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, show must go on at the end of the day. And that's how we ended up at Goodfellas. And Goodfellas, we switched from that every week situation to once a month. And that started making everything a little bit better as far as getting ourselves organized and grounded. So now that we've been at Goodfellas and we've consistently been there doing whatever we do, and people see no matter what you do, we're going to pop up somewhere where now you seeing people's pictures and faces on flyers in different situations now all over the city. And eventually I knew it's going to come back. So we'll be back at Live Bar doing karaoke remix. Okay. Karaoke remix is going to be, of course, a karaoke night, but we will have a parody song contest. The parody song contest is where anyone who wants to remix a song, make it their own, something funny, something different. You come, we have limited slots, you're going to perform your song, and then whomever the crowd deems to be the winner, you tip. We doing the tip your favorite performer type situation, so you can make it rain, similar to a drag show.
Yes.
Make it rain on your favorite performer type
Heck
deal.
Yeah, I like that.
And whomever the winner is of the night that the crowd likes their parody song, they win a free recording session to record their song and a free music video shoot to do a video for the parody song, and that'll help us advertise it for the next week.
Yes.
They'll get a spotlight for the next show with everyone knowing that they were the winner and playing their song. Let them get a section, come back, celebrate, unless they want to perform again. But I think I'm probably going to limit it depending on the performers that sign up, because I would like to have like a battle of the champions towards the end of the year, where we would do it kind of like Masked Singer style, do it on the grand scale, but full out performances and they can dress up and have backup dancers and all that good stuff.
Yes.
So that's something that'll be pretty cool. And shout out to Ian and 904 Nika for helping me with coming up with that situation. We started it. 3 Stones. I forgot about 3 Stones.
3 Stones.
3 Stones. Yeah, I remember that too.
We tried to keep 3 Stones alive, y'all.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was an interesting
I just remembered because I didn't know it was OU, right? So I just see these mics popping up. And I'm like, well, they just canceled another one because, I have that flyer with all the mics on. Now I have you guys on. But before, I was just like, I didn't know.
A new one, and a new one, and a new,
because I didn't know what the mic situation was. And you and I texted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we met in person at that point or whatever, but we were texting back and forth a little bit. Like, with the mic situation.
I was just like, it was people, because people will come at us from anywhere like, hey, y'all come do a show here. And then I'm like, people just start to trust me out of nowhere. I don't like that whole situation. I was managing the whole restaurant.
You the whole thing. You were running that thing.
2 months almost.
They're like, here, just to handle that.
Country, and they were like, we don't want to close, and you trustworthy. It's like, okay.
Yeah. They were just like, handle that, and left.
Exactly.
Nice.
So now we have somewhere to have us some mics, guys. Let's turn up.
That was cool.
I was just like, hey.
That was cool.
Now we got a venue. If you want to do something here, let's do it. Let's run it up to it until we can't do it no more. And cool. And that's what happened. I'm like, y'all want stages? I give you a stage. Y'all want a mic? I give you a mic. You need to practice to be perfect. Because I take you outside of here. You're not going to have too many chances to, to fumble that bag or that ball. So do that here on these stages.
There it is.
A weekly mic it's a lot of work. I'd be there every week. It's not even the amount of
it's
work.
A lot.
I do enjoy it, but every Wednesday is gone. I can't.
That's why I
can't go to wherever else because I have to be there, and I'm running the mic, with Elizabeth.
Exactly.
So it's pretty. It ties you down for sure, like a weekly thing.
Everybody don't. Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Even with me, like, I am a whole film professional. There's not a lot of film projects happening here, if anyone has noticed. A lot of them that are very small budget, if so. Yeah. And while I enjoy helping and being in the mix, that's not paying bills. So if I get a call from a show that's 4 months and want me to come somewhere, I can't do that with mics. Mm-hmm. And people that told them that I would be responsible for X, Y, and Z. I said, so I had to make a huge sacrifice to say, all right, are these individuals worth it? Because I'm have to sit down for like a year and I will give it a year and let's see what we do. And if everyone's pushing for it, everybody's still moving, doing what they need to do, then I don't mind making the sacrifice and then making the permanent decision to be here. But that's also something that I consider, like, when you have mics every week and I'm not just on one mic, it's 16, 19 or so individuals that each of them, if they don't do the shows that I'm putting on, I have other individuals that have shows such as Smoking Word where they want to spot the comedian. I have other people that might depend on me to help them with certain stuff if they get bigger shows contractual wise, helping them manage that situation. And I started the, LLC Poker Face and got all of the business documents, insurance, and everything in order so that they don't have to worry about those things. Nice. And I'm like, so I'm kind of the person that they need to have here. So I'm just like, until we figure out the structure of whatever on the back end, I'm the office. I'm the management and everything else. So
you're all of the above.
Yeah. Like, so I'm just like, it has definitely been I've definitely had to be sure about this being what I wanted to do, or at least to try it out, because I had to put going to work on hold. So I love y'all.
That part.
I definitely
lots of love.
Yeah.
Lots of love.
I definitely do. And it's just, I was really, when all of this started, because of it was just like my sister, she had got into a really bad car accident. I came home to help take care of her, and then on top of that, had personal stuff going on, relationship stuff, and it was just like
too much.
Yeah, it was too much. But me, I guess in that moment, I was kind of emotionally checked out because I had to be strong for the people around me. And so my release, which they didn't understand, was them. Like even coming to mics and stuff and just coming, sitting and laughing, like that was so therapeutic. And I was just like,
good.
You all really helped me through a hard time, whether y'all know it or not. So... You know, I said comedy, you know, y'all came out of nowhere, you know. We were meant for each other.
I love that. Yeah, you've been an awesome manager, and you're just going with it, man, for forever. It feels like nonstop. Even when one person's like, yeah, no, not this place anymore. We got the next place, and we got the next thing, and we got the... Yep. So that's cool.
The objective is to make sure y'all getting seen. Wow. Everybody... you know, get shifty because they want some money. They want to hound you or hassle you. Oh, you got to pay me $50. You got to pay me $100. You got to pay me $150. This, that, and the other. Like, with these shows, everything that happens is going into making sure that the business stuff get paid. And a lot of the comedians that have been here, they've invested their time into this, honestly, some of them without seeing a dime. And especially if they know they're new, they know they're benefiting from being able to work with more experienced comedians to actually do the things they're doing. They know that, if anything, we're going to get footage. We're going to get, she's going to make sure we got a rollout. We're going to have a flyer. Our name going to be on it. We're going to this, that, and the other. It's little stuff that if they were putting these shows on themselves, which technically we put out a run a show situation, I'll script out what they need to do. They read it, say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is the order of everything. And they go with it. This is their baby. I'm just here helping facilitate and make sure it keep growing. So I'm like, yes, it's a sacrifice or it's a commitment that you're making to be here and do this, but understand it's for yourself. It's not to make me money. That's the least of my worries. I get, my booking commission if I book somebody's show or something.
Which you deserve. You need to get a piece of the pie for sure with all the shit you're doing.
We're definitely getting to that place where Poker Face is formulating its identity more so. So that now we have people coming to us like, how can I join? How can I join? Nice. That's when you start to get into now we have something where we can make money. We can be more lucrative because, again, a lot of the things that y'all get, other people will have to pay for it. So if we are getting to that place, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the fight was, is to make Poker Face a name that people recognize. And once we get there, then we can go into the other stuff. I just needed to make sure people understood it or knew the name or could be committed to it for that reason. So
yeah, that takes time building.
Branding,
Branding.
I think it's a cool name. Like, I remember it most of the time, even though I can't go to your shows. But
man, you have some more stuff popping off. You're gonna have to come.
I will. I do my best. But even Flo, I've tried to do her mic, and sometimes my mic runs so long at the comedies, I can't.
Yes, because you're over there doing big things.
Yep.
And I love coming to your shows.
Yeah, there is always something. We had a snake the other day, a couple of weeks ago.
Snake?
Snake. The girl went up right next to me, right? I'm like, good luck. She was doing the mic. And then one of the comics said, did you see the snake around her neck? And I looked over there, and there was a little bull python snake live around her neck.
Just hanging out. Okay.
Everybody has a gimmick.
Oh, my Lord. No thanks.
Wait a second. I don't think she mentioned the snake. Or maybe just briefly. That was not what it was about.
That thing slither off of you. Everybody's running.
I'm like, oh. It was I'm not even sure if it was a baby python. It was pretty thick. It didn't occur to me in my mind that somebody would bring a snake. So that's why I didn't register that it's a snake around her neck, not a necklace.
Crazy bitch.
Never thought it was a necklace. If only he would have walked up to her and just been like, oh, that's a really real looking necklace.
Like,
poke it and it start moving.
I mean,
people crazy. Shoot, bringing snakes up in that.
My aquarium to the show. Like, hey, here's my fish. I don't know.
Crazy.
But anyway, so I've seen. That's why I was asking where that guy was, because luckily for me, so far this hasn't happened yet that I actually had to stand up and be a little bit more aggressive towards a heckler. Sometimes they are loud, mostly comics.
Right.
But that's so we know each other. That's
Southside.
That part.
I didn't want to say the name.
Look, I said Southside.
Got him.
No, I call him out. Southside will roll all over the floor.
He will.
He will sit there.
Got
You'll
him.
see him standing one place 1 second, and then
He's all
How did you
bouncing off the walls.
over there? He's like
so hyper, and I
was
remember
high energy.
too tall,
It's
too big to be that sneaky.
It's funny. They roll around yelling.
Yo, one thing I will say about Southside is that everybody really underestimates or really doesn't understand. I don't think, not necessarily understand, but while he does that and he acts like that, it's all like Southside 2.0. When you around him on a personal level, he's very chill. He get around people, and of course he's Southside. He gonna be high energy. But dude went to seminary school, very much so, is very religious. He calls me to pray all the time. J-Mo, Jessica, I just feel like your spirit is a little touched. I need to call and pray with you. Someone just told me to call and pray with you.
He's got the soft side.
Yeah, like Southside has a softer side. And the best thing that I saw was when he hosted, I gave him the option, or gave him opportunity to host at Three Stones. Killed it. Mm-hmm. It was just the premise. It's like he was being Southside, and he just rambling. It was just the way that he brought his punchlines around to where people was like, wait. Like, he was just throwing everybody off, and then it was like perfect how he was timing everything. He went to the next comedian, and then he'll come back, do another bid, and then hit the punchline. Everybody be lost, and then all right, next comedian. And as soon as the end of the show, at the end, and did all this rah stuff, this, that, and the other. When he ended up going out, he was like, all right, I'm comedian Southside. I want to thank y'all for coming out tonight. Such and such. Good night. On some, I'm gonna turn the crazy out.
Right, like this was, yeah.
And I told him that right there was so. I was like, I was like, so many people didn't get a chance to witness that. I recorded it. People didn't get a chance to witness that, but he did so good, and I don't think he realized how good he did. And I was just like, even with playing on that, even if you are crazy all the time, you need to play on that. You need to make people think it's an act. And I was like, because, and it really is, but you need to hone in on it. I feel like it's something
that's your character.
It's your character. And I think another time that I seen Southside perform that was really, really good was when he was at Indigo. And it was our first night at Indigo. And it was his first time getting back on stage in like a while. He hadn't came out to perform in a minute. And he did this whole joke where he was just like acting like he had Tourette's. He was blurting out random stuff. And whenever he blurted out, nobody would got kind of response, and they'll freeze. He'd be like, squirrel. Never mind. It was just like his little things that he throw in there. It's just like, it was so good. And that was a set that he worked on, and he came back so strong, and I was so proud of him. And it's like, individuals like Southside, he wants to do comedy, and he feels like he can do it, but he didn't really have people like praising him when he would have wins. These simple, hey, you know you killed that, right? You know you did that, right? The support from all of y'all is what make him keep going, because he's called me so many times and been like, I don't ever want to do this.
That's why you gotta record yourself, and you have to listen to it. And 90% of the time it sucks. But guess what? I have all my killer sets.
As
when
well.
I feel down, I go back, I rewatch it. I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah,
you
gotta, because it's not gonna be great every single time. You're not gonna be amazing. There's a lot more bombing along the way.
Well, it's because you're trying new stuff, so you're gonna bomb
right.
a lot
Anytime
more.
you try something new, you don't know where it's gonna land. You know.
I tell everybody the key is audience control. Is audience interaction. That's why I push at it so much, because you can be having a bad set, but you start interacting with the crowd. You pay attention to your surroundings. You do recon work. You go before the show. You watch people. You watch what people do. You look at them sitting at the table. To look at the obnoxious people that want to be loud, the ones that's with their girlfriends. Notice what the people that got birthdays are at. Like, you have to do things that a host would normally do to make sure that they can do, good crowd work. Because when you get on stage and you saying certain jokes and they might not be hitting the way you want to, you always have that to fall back on. And if you're confident in roasting, which is why I make y'all roast. If you're confident in roasting, you confident with crowd interaction, which is why I push it, that's honestly helped make a lot of the comedians stronger. So it's certain just little techniques on little things like that I tell them, like, just be aware of your audience. Even certain jokes you tell from a writer standpoint, like Nika does a lot of comedy that's geared towards her being a lesbian, being a stud. And I told her, while you are going to have people that respect those jokes because it's you also have a way of switching them up if you have certain type of crowds that might not necessarily always gravitate towards certain jokes you say. You know that a lot of stuff you're going through, you get put in a dude situation. Talk to the guys. Talk to the fellas more so than making it about X, Y, and Z. It's just certain things that she's had happen when she's went to different audiences or around different groups of people, and it's just like, you're great. You can make this work, but you just got to find all the different lanes of where your joke can go, and that's where putting your joke in the lab and we workshop it and just, get into the joke and figure out all the places it can go. And once you do that and you have that in the back of your mind, that joke, it grows, it gives it life, and it honestly just, it just prepares you for what you need to do. Like, Nika killed that Eric Andre performance. She worked her butt off for weeks when she found out. When they initially said, "Oh, we might want you," and that shout out to Voussoir, because Voussoir is where a lot of people, I feel like, have been going and they've been flourishing, and that's what's kind of been helping a lot of new comedians get booked. Like, I remember, who is it? I think that I first seen Mikey B and Alex and I'm trying to think, it's a few others that I saw at Voussoir, I believe, before I saw them and invited them to come out to Live Bar.
Oh, okay.
So I think that Voussoir is where I started meeting a lot of other comics that were here and kept pushing at them, like, come out to Live Bar, come out to Live Bar. And it was just like, I was seeing a lot of them from then to now. I've seen the growth. Like, it's crazy. Like, you all are, building these shows out, and you're giving people variety and not just basic stand-up. And honestly, the examples that have been set from you guys as venues and, the way that you all put your shows together and so forth is honestly what's helping, whether y'all realize it or not, the black comedians. It really is, because they were stuck on doing the traditional stand-up. A lot of the people that were popular within the black community did traditional stand-up shows. It's, you got this person, they get, a 15-minute, 20-minute set, and be 4 comedians, you pay $20, $30 to get in, get a plate, and then you go home. That's how everybody has been digesting comedy outside of, watching Wild 'N Out on TV or, right. Or Whose Line Is It Anyway, and different shows that give you a variety and different things like that. That's all that they were doing here. So when Poker Face kind of entered the scene, they started giving a little bit more, giving a little bit more of those type of vibes to an urban comedy crowd. And so it's making people actually seek out different styles of comedy and different venues and stuff. We constantly talk about you all and the venues and the nights that y'all do, whereas a lot of, again, urban community, black people, didn't know that y'all mics exist, for real. Yeah. So I really feel like that, like, getting more people out, getting people used to coming out on the regular to see comedy again, the different types of shows that have been being put on, like, everyone is starting to pay more attention now. So, yeah, I just, I appreciate watching the growth from everybody and seeing everybody work hard to get to where they at. Like, it's crazy. I've seen,
it's a lot of growth.
I follow so many comedians before they even knew I was following them. And they're like, what's your social media? And I was like, I don't follow you.
Like, I'm on there.
They're like, really? I was like, yeah, I know everyone. That's my job.
And speaking of venues, I got an offer to do like another open mic and shows, and I was going to talk to you about that. We could talk details later, but like, I don't know, you got a lot on your plate, but yeah,
pat it on.
Right.
Why stop now?
Right. Yeah, they're like, you want to host? I'm like, well, it would be cool to like, co-host with someone maybe from Poker Face. Do something again, like every week's a lot, but we can start off once a month or something.
Yeah, that's what I feel like is the formula with a lot of venues until we start.
You gotta
the crowd. Just start slow.
That part. That's why I'm only doing once a month because I just couldn't. It was just too much.
No, like I took this on. I hosted the Comedy Zone. I took it on because of the name. I'm like, hey, I'm hosting the Comedy Zone open mic, right? And people do reach out to me because of that.
Exactly.
Right,
it is about the name.
It's the name.
Yeah. And even though I tell them it's in the bar.
It's in the bar.
Zone, you need Poker Face. You know what I mean?
There you go.
We'll be down.
Yeah.
But I love it. I just feel like this is something that was really needed to just bridge or bring a lot of the urban comics together as far as Black comedians, because they were very much so clicked up and divided. The age groups, the older ones were clicked up from the younger ones. The ones that were newbies were kind of like, they kind of go here, there, wherever they can fit in. And then the ones who are kind of like popular within the Black community, they weren't necessarily welcoming to certain new people until they had went through kind of what they went through. They didn't have anybody that was like, oh, here's a group of y'all, let's work together and do this. They had to, try, fail, not do it for a few years to really get grounded and come back. Like, they didn't necessarily have a team or a team.
You brought
of
them
people,
together.
But
you brought everybody together
with this team. And they just like, I can hate on it all I want, but they got each other back. Like, they got people that support their performances or people that support their cause or their name and this, that, and the other. And it's like, you want to be a part of the community? You want to be out there, in the cold by yourself?
Hey, there are lone wolves. I'm a lone wolf.
You're a lone wolf, but you're a top dog lone wolf.
I wish I was a top dog, Jesse.
Yes.
I'm not a top dog.
Man, every Poker Face comedian you book, they have undeniably, as soon as you call, they're so excited, and you don't understand. Like, it really does like make a difference when you have your own show or something. You reach out and say, you good enough? I feel like you great to be on my show, this, that, and the other, because it kind of sets the bar, honestly, for the rest of them. Because as soon as you got called to do Comedy Zone? You got called to do Comedy Zone? Yeah. That's how all of them act. They're like, oh. And then next thing you know, somebody coming to Poker Face show with a gangster set. And I'm like, ooh. And then I was like, you need to take that to Voussoir, take that to such and such. And then, look what happened. You get booked too. You just got to start going out and doing your thing.
Yeah.
Got to go out more.
Formula. You got to go out more. You got to get in front of people. If you don't, just talking to me not gonna do it. So
gotta dedicate.
We used to get together and do rehearsals, but then I was like, y'all, even if we do get together and we rehearse, that's not what we did in the beginning that helped you all. And I feel like what y'all did is what the newbies need to do that's coming in. So let's scrap that trying to meet every Monday and let's just start hitting mics again.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's the best way to work out your stuff. And then we'll go over it, see what was strong, see what wasn't.
I mean,
it was cool though.
You gotta be on stage because it doesn't matter how good of a writer you are, right? You write it down, but you don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know. I always tell this story. Every joke I write is the best joke I've ever written. I'm like, this is hilarious, and then I go up perform it, and nobody's laughing. Like, you know what? This joke is trash. It just doesn't work.
That's what I tell them. Like, honestly, there's no trash joke. It's just restructuring.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and that's why I tell them, like, workshopping it, and it might not work for right now. Like Cara Jarrell, she's one of our newbies, and she has her Tina Burner song that she came in performing for us. Like, she's like, I want to do with, you know, have props, and I want to be like this, that, and the other. And I was like,
go for it.
I want you to go for it, but let's be realistic and let's slow down. You only have 5 minutes.
Right.
And 5 minutes, you can't do a wardrobe change and put on a wig. And
True,
all that good
true.
stuff. So let's figure out a way to make it work. And she had
Trim the fat too.
Yeah, we trimmed off some of the joke that she had in the beginning that was about where she was from. Helped her condense that.
Mm-hmm.
And then her lead-in joke goes into the drunk auntie bit, which goes into Tina Burner. And then we added some background dancers and everybody singing the song with her. Those little elements made Tina Burner popular. You know what I'm saying? Everybody enjoyed it. But it was like, you know what I'm saying? Her hearing it like, all right, let's just take some of this away. We're going to get back to that later. Let's work on this. X, Y, Z, this is what works. You know what I'm saying? We workshopped it and it ended up working itself out. And she's like, oh my God, I would have never thought to do that. But again, that's why having strong people around you to help you write and workshop your stuff is important. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the more you hang out with better comics, I think you're gonna be a better comic because you will learn a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I hit mics. But my personal favorite is watching new people come out and enjoying it, because I do miss that energy when I first started, and I was sleeping in my car all the time in parking lots just to get on a stupid mic in Atlanta or whatever. You know, so I do enjoy watching new people. And how they grow and they get better. You know, it's cool.
That's what I'm on. I'm like, I love it. That's why I tell them Jacksonville is your practice. Like, go ahead, let's run it up, practice. Because, like you said, next is booking more out of town stuff and getting you in front of other audiences and
you
possibilities.
You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready
and that's what I tell a lot of them. Like, you want me to do X, Y, and Z. It's certain ones, you know, they get a little Hollywood, and when you get me some money, I'll come back and this, that, and the other. I done heard it all. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, oh, you back? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something that you're not doing yourself, don't threaten me with it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm moving at the pace that needs to be moved at for what we're doing. And everybody wants to rush. Everybody wants things to happen overnight. But if that's the case, then you would have been able to do this overnight on your own. I'm telling you that taking your time, perfecting your craft, growing your fan base organically, helping getting yourself out there to where people know you as comedian such and such, those little things are very much so important, just as important as you telling the right joke on stage. Mm-hmm. You got to market yourself correctly. You need your home team behind you. If you can't convince people from here to support you, then how you gonna go somewhere else and expect the same thing? Yeah, right. It starts here. This is the hardest place to make people pay attention, and if you can do it, you might have something. So that's why I tell everybody. I'm
it's
like,
not easy.
I went to Spoken Word and I rapped a little song. When you rapping that little song, it might go viral.
Right. There it is.
Going viral. It's gonna help out my Padres.
Right. Like, who's that? Oh, J Mote, and then it's a ripple effect.
Ripple effect. It's
she's a part of Poker Face.
I don't like going to clubs like that, but I'm in the club every week for y'all.
It's a lot.
Like, seriously, I going to events and networking and stuff. I know I have a large following. I know I have some stuff that's viral. I know that if I post something, that it's gonna get traction or attention before some of the people that are newer. So even in me doing some of the things I'm doing, me posting about certain people, talking about certain people, it's putting your name in there in these individuals' mouths that you probably wouldn't have access to. That's why I started slightly reaching out to certain individuals, just doing research on people that were here, that weren't from here, that are viral. D-Boy, damn it, he started coming around. He's somebody who, he has a lot of viral content online, and he organically grew his followers. He just constantly is making videos, posting all day, like literally post all day.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
And to me, even you post a lot.
And it's a lot of work. Well, I've neglected all other freaking social media channels. I've neglected TikTok, YouTube. I'm like just Instagram lately because I don't have time for. Yep. I got to do it here. I got to do it there. It's like
isn't there a hub that you can upload it and it just uploads it to all?
I'm sure there's an app.
There must be something.
And that's where I've been linking with individuals like that because he's not a man-made factory. He can't do that work and this, that, and the other. So it's something right. Yeah. And he's not from here. So it's like individuals that aren't from here, they get exposed to other stuff. So I pick individuals like that brand. And he absolutely loves what Poker Face is about. And he's like, I've been here for a while. Nobody has ever reached out to me and said anything about me, you know what I'm saying, doing certain stuff. People want me to come in and try for doing a show because they see I have a following. But they didn't come in saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? What is it that you really want to do with what it is you're doing? How can I help what you have going on? And I approached him in that capacity. Yep. And he's like, well, people keep telling me I need to get on stage, but I'm not confident in doing stand-up. Well,
and then I saw him, he got up there, right?
Yeah. So it's like he got up there organically and tried on his own. And now he's in his writing process of coming up with him a set. But in turn, he's also willing to barter his platform. If I mention you, I talk about certain people that I believe in. He's not doing that because somebody's paying him. He's doing that because for the community of building the people up around him who welcomed him with open arms. And I was like, that's what needs to be happening with everyone. Like, we need to be using the skills we have. We found out certain people in the group edit, certain people in the group shoot. Why we not all shooting content? Oh, we got people in the group that play instruments. What are we sourcing a band for?
Hello.
Why am I paying this band $500 when y'all can get
money? Yeah.
You know, it's like we have to start figuring out what resources we have so that we can help each other and be there for each other. And D-Boy Name It is somebody who, again, was like a complete, you know what I'm saying, like an example of that. He came in and he just instantly like plastering y'all on the platform, telling everybody about y'all. Like, this is the coolest group of people. Like, it's so refreshing to be around my peers and, you know, individuals that's like me and doing this, and they just welcome me and they help me. I can call them and they answer the phone. They don't act Hollywood. And you get that a lot.
That part.
Yeah. So it's like, that is what I feel like, again, what Poker Face has brought to the table for certain individuals. And that is, again, you know, it keeps it going.
Awesome. How long have you been going? Has it been an hour?
Yep. At least, I think. It's been more, I think.
Oh, I've been here going. This coffee.
Yeah. Gotta get that coffee, that caffeine.
I like these interviews.
just go with it. Yeah. And we'll just be like, okay.
Yeah.
That was
so
good.
Much to say,
it's a lot to say. Yeah.
I really do love, I've been around different communities of comedians and just entertainers, artists and stuff. And I really mess with everybody in the comedic community. Like, the people that are here now, the individuals that have the control, they're the right people, I feel. I feel like at a certain point in time, stuff was just kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of powers that were in control of what was going on that only had one thing in mind, which was making $1 off of the people that was around them. So they sourced people from out of town. They got people here used to hearing out of town names, not promoting the people that are here. And I feel like that switch has happened. And I appreciate going to shows, seeing more underground comedians or local comedians that are doing their thing. I love that so much more than trying to go and pay a bunch of money to see somebody mainstream. I would so pay for the people that are here before I pay for certain comedians that are famous. So I just feel like that needs to be the objective, is we got to keep it going. These people come from the outside. They need to know these names of these shows and the people that are running them so they know who to come to and not these janky promoters. Yeah. Like, there's certain shows and stuff that happen here that I feel like if the outside comedic world had, you know, a name of someone that they can come to within the city, that their shows would just go off a lot better. It was just, I ain't throwing shade. Whoever put on Charleston White show, you know, I get it. I get it. And I think it was out of town people, so I really get it. But knowing the comedic community here, you could have made sure that went on the way it needed to versus depending on randoms So I figure like everyone here that putting on shows is setting the tone, setting the standard for what to expect. And so when these outside people are wanting to come here, they should be calling us. They should not be calling promoters.
Period.
Yeah.
They should be calling the comedians that are here.
That part. And Imre's whole house is set with alarms all over the place.
This is the most... like everybody's phone was ringing at one point. Now my phone is ringing, and I keep my phone on mute, so I don't know what's going on.
Oops.
All right, so promote one more time. Promote your socials and stuff.
Your handles and all that.
Yes. I am Jessica Mote. Jessica Shantae Mote. My Instagrams are at Director J Mote.
Check out the hat.
Director, yes. Director
There it is.
Mote. It's probably backwards, whatever.
Yep, probably.
But that's my main Instagram. I also have J Mote Productions because I do production work. I do production management coordinating. I do development. So if you have an idea that you want to formulate, get together, you need writers, you need the whole project kind of organized and things. I am in the industry. I've worked and did those things, so I'm knowledgeable and I know what needs to be had. So J Mote Productions is my other page that just has some content stuff with Poker Face Comedy. We have Poker Face Comedy Jacks. That's on all platforms. We also have at Poker Face Comedy Live, which is our old page that has some old content, but just if you want to check that out. And I'm jack of all trades. So I do hair, makeup.
You do it all.
_hair page. You want to check out some stuff, you want to book with me. And I also, ladies, if you want to save your marriage or you want to be a vixen for a day, do a sexy video gift line, and it's called OLS Our Little Secret. So if you want to gift your man,
that's the boudoir thing. It's so funny. I was just talking to someone about that the other day, and then you're doing that, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so I did it for my sister to gift her husband a wedding present before he walked down the aisle.
Well, that's nice.
Hers very sexy and raunchy, ladies. You can get as nasty as you want. It's a female. For a female videographer, female crew, as far as how extreme you want to go with the shoot. That's why I said fantasy, because the boudoir is simple, little lingerie, little movements and stuff. But the fantasy is, your man like Nicki Minaj, he's gonna make you Nicki for a day. Shoot a music video like Nicki.
Yeah,
certain things that we want to be able to offer with full production realm to give you this whole experience of, you get to be the sexy chick.
I like that.
And then you get to show your man. And I don't know what female right now is going through the motions of being like your man, like to be on Instagram, looking at Instagram models. Imagine if he had a bunch of videos and pictures of you in his phone.
That part.
Look at it.
That part.
So that's what I'm offering. I'm trying to help save marriages.
Yes.
Women to know that they can look as good as these females online. It's makeup.
There it is.
I'm just gonna do it for myself, by myself.
No, so I said the guys that feel comfortable. If that's something you want, then again, a guy can be attractive and sexy too. We'll have mock-ups and different things. OLS_visuals. You go ahead and check that out. And we have one up there of Miss Ducey. She was a part of Poker Face as well, and she was my person who did my first shoot, so that I can have some advertisement for everyone. But
Aw.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute.
Very good. Yes, I'm all about the raunchy.
Loved it. Yeah.
Nice.
Aww.
They recorded his face when he saw it. It was so good.
Good reaction. Got that reaction.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was ready to walk down the aisle then. So
I love that.
All right, Flo, plug your socials.
Yep, Flo Funny on everything.
Yep, and I am stand up everywhere else. Whee! All right, we're gonna clap one last time, and that's
Flo
the
funny ass comedian. That's what I saved her as when I first met her.
Oh really?
Nice. I try.
I don't even know. I don't even know how I have you on my phone. I think it's Flo Funny.
Okay.
Definitely not your last name.
No one can pronounce that shit.
That
You just said it though. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Most people are like, huh? Like what?
All right, let's clap one last time. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Yeah, did you hear that? We got the lowdown on the streets where the talk's at. From the hood to Hollywood, we spilling all the tea. Ain't no secret safe, no, we bring the heat. We dropping names and we dishing the dirt. Did you hear that? Spreading rumors like crack, ain't no turning back. We the real OGs taking it to the airwaves. Psst, did you hear that? Getting the scoop, all the celeb facts. You better listen up, cause we run this podcast.